So we're going to start with a hamstring rollout. It's going to be off the bench because this will also give me the opportunity to put a little bit more of my body weight. I can kind of sit to the hamstring and put my whole weight on it. As I'm rolling the hamstring, I can work to the inside or to the outside of the muscle. And the other thing that the bench allows you to do is if I get to a point where I have a sore spot, I can also create some movement, kind of working this leg extension action as the roller digs into the hamstring muscles. So for this pretzel stretch exercise, what we're going to do is lay back, pull the knee up to 90 degrees, bring it across the body, and then I'm going to pull this leg back, and now I'm holding this position. I'm going to pin the knee down. I'm going to take a deep breath and try to open through the spine into the hips, and relax as I breathe out. Breathe in, drive back into the ground, relax and breathe out. Holding for about 5 seconds with each rep. The next exercise in our hip alignment series, we're going to take a PVC pipe and thread it through the legs. So I'm here and here, and what I'm going to do is drive this knee this way, drive this knee this way. So I'm moving the hips in opposite directions. I'm going to press into it and fire, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax. I would then switch and perform the same exercise threaded through the other side. Set and press, pressing into it, hold it, and relax. After working in that plane of motion, I'm then going to bring a roller or a yoga block, something I can squeeze in the middle. So I'm now pinning the roller between the knees, a good base with my feet. I'm going to tighten the core and then squeeze into the hips, trying to smash the roller and create tension. Relax. The final exercise for our hip alignment is we're going to take a gray band, step all the way into the band, bands around the waist, kind of walk it out so it has tension. I'm going to let my hips dip back and then press forward and squeeze, hold, locking out the glutes before I tip the hips back and reset to the start position. I'm trying to tilt the pelvis as I lock forward, hold it, and relax to tip it back. For this hamstring and groin series, we're going to work a double band knotted together. Great use for old bands you might be using for speed work or different activities kind of once they're past their prime in the weight room. So we have a knot on the band. We're going to hook it underneath the bench, and then I'm going to lay back onto the bench and get set up, positioning my feet into the band. From here, I'm pressing the top. Notice I have the band tracking over my shoulders to help hold it in the start position. I'm going to alternate and kick down, always resetting both legs here in the middle at the top. Keeping the core tight. Low back is also pinned to the bench, so I can focus on kicking and controlling the hamstring down and up. From there, I'm going to open into circles. So I'm going to open out wide, bring it in, back through the top, opening through the hips, and then I will reverse it, same thing on the hips, but take it in the opposite direction. For the hamstring hip floss, we're going to have a band attached from a low position. I'm going to step into the band and get it hooked high into my hip. From there, I'm walking the tension out on the band, and I'm going to rock back and stretch it into the hamstring. I'm going to hold this stretch for about 20 seconds, at which point I'm going to complete 5 rotations to change the position on the stretch. And then I'm going to reset kind of to a 4-point position and try to lock out from the knee and hip. So I'm relaxing, locking it back. Relax, lock it back. Hamstring knee lockout. I'm going to lay back, make sure my down leg is in alignment with the toe pointed up and hips lined up. Pull back behind the knee so I have tension, and I'm going to try to lock out, hold the stretch, and relax it back down. To add increased tension on this exercise, I can use a band, loop from here, pull the band back to add tension. Same thing, hips are in alignment. Now, I'm going to kind of press it back, knee into the chest, and lock it out. Knee into the chest, and lock it out. For this glute activation exercise, I'm going to lay down on my chest, flat to the turf. I'm going to bend at 90 degrees. This exercise is not about how high I can lift off the ground, but about squeezing the glute and holding the tension. So I'm set here to the ground. I'm going to drive up, squeeze the glute, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax back down. Again, set from the glute, pressing back, heel toward the sky, hold, 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 and relax back down. So isometric hamstring bridge. I'm going to show both a double leg and single leg variation of this exercise. For the double leg variation, I'm laying flat on my back. I'm going to slightly bend the knee. So I'm not into a full glute bridge position. I have a slight bend in the knee so I can more target the hamstrings. From here, I'm going to squeeze the glutes and lift up, and then try to curl into the ground, squeezing my heels into the ground, holding the tension of the bridge on the hamstrings. Relax. To increase the difficulty of this exercise, I can also work it from a single leg variation, where now I will pick one leg up. I have this leg still slightly bent and anchored down into the ground. I'm going to squeeze the glute to lift it up, and same idea, curl that leg into the ground and hold the tension as I'm squeezing the hamstring into the floor. For the band iso leg curl, I can use one stronger band. I could also make it more unilateral and use two more medium resistant bands. I'm going to set up and hook my heels through the band. Walk out so that I have tension. Very, very important that I start this exercise by setting the glutes first. So I'm going to squeeze the glutes and then curl up and hold the hamstring contraction right here at 90 degrees. I'm trying to keep the glutes tight, press to the ground, hamstrings pulling back into the band. From the hip. So I'm putting my hip through the band, pulling the band all the way up tight to the hip. Now I have this leg locked in at the hip. I'm going to take the band that's around my waist, wrap it around the foot, and now I can press and hold where this is pulling tight to the hip, this is stretching it there at the knee, and I'm working the hamstring flexibility in both directions. I would hold this stretch for an extended period of time until the muscle slowly starts to relax and reset.